Hey guys, my name is Eric Baurnstein. I'm the West Coast rep for Forest River Diesels. I'm here today at DeMartini RV located in Grass Valley, California. And I'd like to showcase you guys the inside of our brand new 2023 39A. So go ahead and follow me. Alright guys, so on the inside of this 2023 Berkshire 39A, what you're going to notice about this floor plan first when you walk in with the slides out is you got kind of that zoned living effect is what you have. You have the nice theater seats across from a sofa, and you also get a TV on a televator. The nice thing about when I put the TV on a televator is that you don't lose that nice big window. So if you don't want to watch TV, if you're rather using this area as a conversation pit, and you would not like the TV there, now I got a nice big window to look out that side. But look at all the space in between everything the opposing slides really gives you. Then as we move to the next zone, it's going to be more of my dining area, or a lot of people will use this as a workspace if they are working on the road or working from home, across from my kitchen. What we like about this 39A kitchen is that for a Berkshire, it actually gives me probably the most functional counter space on any floor plan that we do. I get the pull-out peninsula. If you notice, that's going to add some room, but I also got a lot of storage in the kitchen, and these drawers are nice and deep to where I can actually fit a lot of the utensils. You know, this is a great area for the coffee maker. But as you come up and you see, it's actually a nice big farmhouse style sink. It's going to be stainless steel. Our countertops, these sink covers are a great example of how thick our countertops are. So it gives you an idea. It is going to be a Corian-like product, so it's going to give you that solid surface. To my right here, I'm going to have an induction cooktop. What we like about these induction cooktops is the safety feature of them. Number one, they're going to boil water faster than what a gas cooktop would or an electric cooktop. But number two, if I am cooking and I have kids with me or any adults or anybody, if somebody was to run their hand when the pan is off this, it's going to feel cool to the touch. So it's one of those safety features. Some of the nice storage underneath, what you're going to find is you have a trash can, a place that's already designed for your trash can. And I'm also going to get some storage underneath the sink. You know, like for me at my house, what I do is that's where all my dish soap goes. That's where everything that I would need that's kitchen cleaner related. As we come down underneath the sink, what you're going to notice is you got some nice big drawers. So there's the top one. Here's the bottom one. These are great utility drawers with whatever you need. Sometimes it's, you know, an extra drawer for towels, dish towels. Sometimes it's, you know, where I put the plates or pots and pans. The other thing, what I'm finding with customers when I'm talking to them at shows is that a lot of people are bringing things like air fryers with them or crock pots, and they're always saying, where can I put that for my kitchen? Well, I like to go over here and utilize, you know, a lot of people will put storage space underneath the booth. For us, our booth lifts up, but it gives you a great amount of storage space to where if we did a drawer off the edge here, you'd only get about half of that space to utilize. You'll also find it here on the other side. The other big thing that's nice about this dinette when I come in, and we haven't really talked about the cockpit yet, but when I look at the furniture in this living area, that sofa, this sofa over here will be a tumble sofa, and then this will actually make a bed also. So I'm getting 2 extra beds right away if I do have friends that I want to bring with me, or if I have kids that want to come. As we go back here, you're still going to find on this feature wall back here, I'm going to get a nice TV along with an electric fireplace. The nice thing about those fireplaces, guys, is really you got to think about it as a heat source. So if it's about 45 degrees out or a little bit above 45, I can use electric heat on this coach by using the fireplace, using the heat pump, and the AC unit to actually heat the coach. I don't actually have to kick on the furnace. So it gives me that nice alternative versus running through a bunch of propane. If you look at the floor here, I always think one of the things that we do great with the Berkshire product line is this porcelain tile floor. This is going to be a residential grade porcelain tile. So it will have that residential thickness to it. And it's actually laid exactly like you would lay it for a residential house. We're able to do that because we run a thicker floor than what most motorhomes do. This floor, by the time it's all finished with the tile on top, is going to be about 3 1/8 inches thick. back here in the kitchen, what we have is we have a microwave convection oven. So if you notice, it's nice and big. A lot of people in diesel pushers, you know, they come out of a gas coach and they have that oven, and then they come to this convection microwave. And what we find is that customers tend to like it because it's more, they can utilize it more. They can either use it as an oven with the same amount of space or use it as a microwave. So it's really good. The benefit is it's giving them that extra storage space in the kitchen that they normally would not get. I still got extra storage too over the kitchen here. If you'll see in this cabinet, you will have adjustable shelving in there, so I can maneuver things around, make it so it's customizable to myself. And I actually have a kitchen window. That's what I also like about this floor plan. So if somebody is in here prepping anything, they can kind of see what's going on at the campsite still. As we move back, what you're going to find kind of in the hallway area is you're going to have a 16 cubic foot stainless steel refrigerator. The nice thing is how we do these locks on these fridges, guys. It's nice and easy. I just twist. Now this freezer will have an ice maker in it, but this would be a 16 cubic foot and it is residential. You know, and the important things to talk about when you're doing things like residential fridges are going to be your inverter size. This coach is going to feature a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter. It's going to come with 6 house batteries, 6 volt house batteries. So when I look at this, I'm also going to have a solar panel on the roof. I also have a big 8,000 kilowatt Cummins owned generator, so that means that I can run everything in this coach off the generator, or I can actually program in through my Multiplex my automatic generator start. So if I am dry camping, the power management is actually being controlled by the brains of the coach. The generator will just kick on when it needs to kick on to recharge those batteries. So let's talk about the Multiplex since I have the actual interface right in front of me. So with multiplexing, one of the main benefits that I always think for customers is that all your fuses are going to be located in one area off the master board that we're using for it. But on the interface side where we are here, the first interface what you're going to see is I got lighting, I got levels. So if I jump into the lighting, for example, we can go back and forth. You're going to see there are some master buttons here, but all the lighting that we have in the coach, like I just turned off, I just hit the night master lights. Now let me go ahead and turn on all the lights to the coach. It's just all a push of a button. You'll also get your controls for the zoned lighting that's throughout the coach. New for this year, these are kind of like your smartphone. These are just pressure sensitive. So if you see if I just put my finger on it, the lighting will dim, turn off. And then so I'm dimming the lighting right now in kind of the living room and kitchen area. Now if I come back and just put my finger on it, you're going to see right now, kitchen should be coming back up, which it is. And I'll bring that living room back up. So that means that I have full control over all the lighting in my coach. So if it's really, really bright out, but I want to dim the lighting in the coach, I can do that and still have a little bit of light so I can see things. Or if I want to watch a movie on the TV, I can dim the lights like it's a movie theater style. Next, we get to the first half bath, or actually the half bath that we have, but the first bathroom. What you're going to find is the commode's right over that. It doesn't need to be a macerator style toilet because it is right over where that black tank is, but you will get solid surface countertops. You got a good amount of storage for the medicine cabinet and then a good cabinet underneath the sink. One thing I always like to point out, we've been running the central vac for a couple years, but new for this model year, you're going to get a toe kick down here. The nice thing about having that toe kick, guys, is that for me, I don't like to lug around hoses. What I'd rather do is just bring a broom and then have something that's like a dustpan that can take all the debris away. And that's what the toe kick's going to help you do. As we walk back, beyond the fridge, what I'm going to have is I'm going to have my nice pull-out pantry. The nice thing about this pantry is it's nice and wide, so I can actually get a lot of items in there. And it's pretty deep. Now you see how it pulls out. Now, if I'm driving down the road, what's going to happen is there's an electric latch on this pantry. So that means when I disengage that air brake on the chassis, if I'm going down the road and I'm sending somebody back to grab me something to eat, a snack out of the pantry, they're going to have to hit this override button here and release it, and in order for the pantry to be able to open. The reason we do that, guys, is because I don't want you to go driving around making turns and you have a nice loaded up pantry and all of a sudden it starts to fly open on you. I'm going to get a little bit nice storage underneath the pantry. All right, guys, so we're back now in the bedroom of this 39A, this 2023 39A. And one feature that I always like to point out right away that is a change on this 23 model year from the 22 is we move to the power tilt-a-view bed. The nice thing about this power tilt-a-view bed is that we do give you a lot of pillows, but now if I want to sit up and watch the TV that's across from here, it's a little bit more comfortable for me to do. Now, one important thing to note is that actually, when I'm running the slides in, I'm going to want to keep this bed in the up position. So make sure that your bed is up before you run these opposing slides in. The other thing that you'll notice with this Berkshire is we don't give you the cheapest mattress we can find. This is going to be a nice foam pillow top sort of mattress. So it's not going to be something that typically you're going to want to replace right away. I'd say try this out for a couple nights before you just go to the mattress store. Above the head in the bedroom, you're going to find a ceiling fan. The nice thing about that is going to be that airflow. For those of you who may have sleep app machines, what you will find, there will be a 110 outlet on the bed base itself for you to be able to utilize. So that means on these nightstands, I could actually put a sleep app machine on one of those if need be. On the passenger, or I don't want to say passenger, but the front side of the bed, what you're going to find is I'm also going to have a USB plug. So if I want to charge any of my phones, anything like that, that's going to give me the area to do that in. Across from the bed, what you're going to find is a 32-inch bedroom TV. It is going to showcase some storage behind it, so I still have access there. I'm going to have a window below the TV. So what a lot of people like about this floor plan, and one of the changes from prior model years, was there used to not be a bedroom window in a 39A. Well, you have one now. And here's going to be the storage for the closets, for the hanging items. So if you see, you're going to have more than an ample amount of storage. Underneath, where the dresser top would be, I'm going to get 6 banks of dresser drawers. And the nice thing about these dresser drawers, guys, is that they're actually pretty big. I can actually fit a decent amount of clothes in them. As we come back kind of to the bathroom, I'm going to let Vicky jump in there and just kind of talk. What you're also going to find now is our updated shower size. So versus previous models, you did not have nearly the amount of space in the shower as what you have in there. What I like about it is obviously I'm the world's smallest person, but I can actually fit in there and I'm comfortable. You also have the solid surface countertop in the bathroom with the undermounted sink. You got some storage below that. Next to it, you're going to have your washer and dryer. So what we utilize now is the Splendide brand of the stackable washer and dryer. So it's nice to have that stuff available to you if you ever need to use it. And then I'm going to have a nice toilet back here. That's going to be a macerator style toilet to actually be able to pump to my black water tank. A couple of things that we haven't talked about the coach that I always like to bring up is that a 39A, guys, is only going to need 2 15,000 BTU AC units on the roof. What you're going to find is you're going to have some nice AC ducting throughout the whole ceiling here. And the nice thing about that is that 2 AC units will cool this coach. But with the ducting, it's going to be quiet. I don't have any quick dump releases or anything like that throughout the coach. And also in one of those ACs, I'm going to have a heat pump built in. So if I'm just trying to take the chill out of the air and it's above 45 degrees, I'm going to use that electric heat versus using my furnace. Because number one, it's just something that I'm going to have available to me. Now, if I'm dry camping, I may use the furnace just because it's going to be a propane-based system and it's not going to pull the amount of electricity. And if I don't have power, I don't always want to run the generator. As we come back up to the cockpit, and we haven't really talked about this yet, one of the more unique features to any product that Forest River Diesel build is this cab over bunk feature. The nice thing about this cab over bunk, and I'm going to use this ladder so that way they can see how it attaches to it. There's a net that goes around it. It's great for, I always say 2 kids, 1 adult. It does have a 500-pound weight capacity. But it's a nice big bed. A lot of people ask me sheet size for this. What I always recommend is go get some full-size sheets and just get some, non-fitted sheets. So if I use 2 non-fitted sheets on this, it will work just great. When I'm ready to run the bed up in the morning, it's just all push of a button. So the bed's there for when you need it. We'll also have people put some valuables underneath the bed at times because they can take the key out and lock the power, and now the bed won't move. So it's a good, nice little hiding nook. What a lot of people like about the diesel product line when they're going down the road is that the motor's all the way in back and it's nice and quiet up front here. It's also going to give you a nicer ride quality because it is going to be an air ride suspension. So couple that up with this big windshield to where if I'm the passenger going down here, I can actually have a conversation with the driver. The cockpit seats will swivel around to the living area, but going down the road, they will be nice and comfy. So you look at RVing and you look at people moving from spot to spot. And the reason what usually pushes people into a diesel motorhome is because part of the adventure and part of the vacation is actually what you see on the way to the destination, not just the destination itself. What a diesel motorhome is going to provide to you, it's going to provide to you one of the top ride qualities out of any RV in the market, and it's going to make it to where as I'm driving to those destinations, I'm not going to be completely exhausted when I get there. Some of the other products out there are going to be a little bit more taxing because of the suspension systems that they offer, and this diesel product line with the air ride, that's going to be probably the top line suspension that you'll be able to get out in an RV. The other thing to point out is in the dash area here, I got a nice big radio. It's going to be a 10-inch screen, but we're going to actually have a GPS program called Copilot. We'll get into it when this thing loads up. And the nice thing about the Copilot is, guys, is that it's a RV style GPS. That means I can put my width, I can put my height, and I can put my length in there. If I want to add my tow vehicle to it, I can add my tow vehicle to the length of the coach, and it's only going to take me on a route where I'm going to fit actually and have some room. All right, so now we got the Copilot up. The best thing to me about the Copilot is this is your base screen. If I want to get into where I can actually adjust the settings, what I'm going to do is let's go to settings here. Let's go vehicle routing profiles. If I go to vehicle routing profiles, what it's going to give me is it will say, what am I? Am I an auto, an RV, a motorcycle? It'll give you a couple different options here. Am I walking? If I click RV and I go view edit, what I'm going to get is this will be what it's set now is the quickest, not necessarily the shortest distance for when it goes to route, but this is where I can get in and I can say my RV dimensions. So let's go to that and use custom RV dimensions. So let's say that I want to change my height to 13 feet. What I want to do here is I click on that. I go back. Where's my numbers at? Let's put in 13 for that. I can leave it at 13 even. I can leave it at 13.6 if I want. But 13 will cover this coach. Next, let's see. I can also adjust my width. 102 inches wide is going to be 8.5 feet wide. That's going to be the maximum that you can be on an RV. So we're going to leave that. That's good. Now let's get into length. So right now it's set up to where it's 48 feet long. This coach tip to tip is going to run 39 feet 8 inches exterior. So if I want to add to my tow vehicle here, let's just go ahead and just put 60 in. And then I get the total weight. So what that's going to allow me to do is make sure that my GCWR is within going to be what the roads can handle, or I guess what the roads are rated to, and take me on those routes. So now that we got the RV dimensions in, let's go ahead and go back. Now I get a couple other different options. Right now the toll roads are set to use, and it's going to display the road restrictions on the map. And those two, I can also do like avoid ferries if I am traveling around Canada. I can also avoid propane restricted tunnels, which is pretty big if I'm going to be traveling upstate New York. But those are some great features to have built in to this GPS. So let's say I want to put a destination in. What I could do is I could go right here. And edit it out. And go to address. I can put an address in here and type it in. Let's go back. If I had a contact saved on here, I could, if I knew that I was going to the same address over and over again, I could just pull up the contact, or I could use coordinates. If I go back to the stereo, I do have Apple CarPlay on the stereo on this guy. I also have to where if I wanted to see my camera views, I can actually pull up my camera views. It's pretty popular for people if they are taking a tow vehicle to try to have that rear camera view and accessible to them, besides when they're in reverse, so they can make sure the tow vehicle is following them where they want. You know, underneath the stereo here, what I'm going to get is some nice toggle switches. So the first button up here is going to be for the nightshade. That's going to be for this shade coming down right now. I'm going to run it back up here for a bit. The next toggle switch I'm going to have is that sunshade. So let's go ahead and run that sunshade down. Now guys, when I have the engine on, these shades aren't going to run all the way down. They will have ignition shut off when you get to a point. But it gives you an idea. You know, a lot of people during the days leave the sunshades down just to help keep the coach a little bit cooler on the inside. I'll run this one back up. Next to that sunshade, I'm going to get this toggle switch that's going to say aux start. What that's going to do is connect my chassis batteries and my house batteries. So say that I got low voltage on my chassis batteries and I need to get the coach started, I can actually use the voltage that's still left in my chassis batteries, like a set of jumper cables, to those house batteries. So it's a nice little built-in assistance for you. Then I have my map lights, and what you're going to find, they're both built into this bed base above my head here. I got the fans that I can turn on. I believe these are on the ignition. So the fans are gonna correlate with the ignition. Next I have the air horn right here. Then I got the radio. Then I have my gen start. Now there will be another gen start. There's actually a couple different ways to start the generator, but the most convenient one when you're driving down the road is right here. Next I can do it through the multiplex, or I can do it back in my bed. And of course, I can always do it off the generator itself. Finally, I always get people at shows asking me about these stairs on the passenger seat and going down the road. What is it like going down the road? Well, on your diesel pushers, guys, what you're going to find is you have a stepwell cover. So the stepwell cover for us, it's going to be about even with the main floor, but it gives you really a nice functional space now going down the road. So in the passenger seat area, you know, I'm on the stepwell cover. But the other thing is that everybody tries to do trays. For us, for the passenger workstation tray, ours is actually pretty robust. What you're going to find is that it's going to have a tabletop, and it's going to have this nice robust arm that actually sits on the side. This arm is going to give me a lot more functionality than what a flip over one would. Like say that I had something here that just flipped up. This actually gives me more functionality to use, and it's a lot sturdier. So if I want to bring, if the girlfriend wants to bring an iPad, if your wife wants to use an iPad, you got the space to do it at right here. Or if somebody just wants to read a book in the passenger chair while they're going down the road, it's just a nice little area for it. I still got the cup holder over here. The cool thing is this thing can store a couple different ways. Say I want to leave the tabletop up, it will just sit up against the wall right there. On the driver's side, the driver's side console. Let's start with the back here, Vicky, and work our way up. What I'm going to find is my equalizer panel for my leveling jacks. Next, as I move up, what I'm going to have is that induction charger for a cell phone, since all your cell phones are moving to kind of those induction chargers. I'm going to have the dual cup holders. The little switch with the joystick above that is going to be for the power mirrors to move them around. That switch is going to be for the heat element in the mirrors. Then above that, I'm going to have where I can turn my headlights off and on. But it's really, really simplistic, really clean going down here. And of course, that yellow thing I didn't talk about, that's how I engage the actual parking brake on the coach. Hey guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video that we just did. Also, if you guys have any questions, you can always find the Berkshire product line here at DeMartini RV, located in Grass Valley, California. You can also find them on the internet at DeMartiniRV.com. Thank you.